This is the skinned belly anomalous containment zone. Located between Jamesburg and Winchester, the skinned belly is one of 3 zones in the Virginia Commonwealth. The 2 others are Lake City, located outside of Alexandria, and Mount Roger, located on the northern portion of the mountain. There are a total of 18 zones dispersed throughout the rest of North America. The majority of zones are in the United States. The skinned belly was first documented in 1796 by farmer Josiah Davis. After the mysterious and violent death of one of his cows, Davis would document the incident in his journal. What follows is Davis's account of the skinned belly. This day, May 7, 1796, I have encountered what may indeed be the strangest of all natural afflictions my eyes have witnessed. Whilst toiling in the fields past midday, I had noticed that one of my heifers was acting most peculiar upon its return from the eastern portion of my land. Hearing it holler its loudest for many minutes, I set down my shovel before attending to the gentle beast. It was when I had gotten closer to the animal I became the most obtusely aware of the many lesions adorning its hide. I began to quicken my pace, running as fast as I could muster toward it. Some ruffian must have taken great pleasure in abusing my bovine servant. That was when it occurred. The cow began to scream, before its hide fell off its shrieking form, exposing the raw muscle underneath. It soon fell to the ground lifeless. I know this not to be the work of any ruffian. The following day, Davis would venture onto the eastern portion of his property and would not return. His body was found by his wife Juliana, who subsequently died after entering the field. After not being seen at church that Sunday, 4 members of the nearby congregation paid a visit to Davis's farm. After discovering the 2 bodies, Oliver Milton, one of the churchgoers, began to suffer the effects of the field. The remaining 3 members retreated and alerted the local Clark County Constable, Francis T. Miller. After his arrival, he declared the entire area to be vacated. For many years, the Davis farm remained abandoned. It would not be until 1975 that the skinned belly, alongside all of the other anomalous containment zones, came under jurisdiction of the SOA. The administration set off almost immediately and constructed a series of large multi-layered fences around the borders of the field. The first foray into the skinned belly took place a month later on April 10, 1975. The expedition was led by senior field researcher Emily Baxter. The team would wear state-of-the-art hazard material suits and experimental radiation scanning equipment. Aside from large amounts of overgrowth, the team would not discover any outstanding anomalies inside of the field outside of a heightened radiation signature. From 1978 to 1981, several events caused a breakthrough in the SOA's understanding of the skinned belly. In late 1978, Baxter and her team were approved to release a limited number of feral hogs into the skinned belly. Within several minutes, the hog would experience rapid thermal decay and would die soon after. The bodies were examined, and radiation burns were discovered inside of the body. In January of 1981, 2 SOA field agents were killed whilst servicing a fallen section of the border fence. Their deaths were caught on video. The cause was linked to faulty seals on the hazmat suit's air scrubbers. Analysis of these 2 events have assisted in creating a clear timeline of exposure-related symptoms. As soon as an unshielded individual enters the skinned belly, they will experience the following: dizziness, itchy throat, eye irritation, bleeding nose, bubbling skin, vomiting, hair loss. The mortality rate after initial symptoms is high. Within 6 minutes after initial onset, the individual will experience rapid body deterioration and eventual death. A rare occurrence with victims of the skinned belly is reanimation. On occasion, some individuals who succumbed to the field's effects will wake up and enter a catatonic wandering state. These individuals are known to produce a scream that can be heard several miles away. They are considered to be harmless. Reanimated individuals die within 1 to 4 weeks of reanimation. It isn't clear if they are aware of their current condition. In 1985, the SOA created a specialized excavator vehicle to investigate the source of the skinned belly's power. After digging through 10 feet of soil, a layer of yellow, candescent granite was found. This granite would be called SKG, skinned belly granite. Excavations in the other anomalous containment zones yielded identical results. It is likely the granite is the cause behind the skinned belly. The granite appears to spawn naturally, with no known cause. Exposure to the raw granite is highly fatal. Even individuals in the most heavily protected hazmat suits will face lethal levels of exposure. Granite samples were transferred by a helicopter to a SOA facility in southern Maryland for further analysis. Scientists from all around the country were contacted for their input. As all of this was going on, the Soviet Union was keeping tabs. In the past, the USSR had created schematics for a type of particle beam that used radioactive material. The Soviet scientists believed the SKG could be the key. A cell of KGB agents was activated near DC. One of them, a man named David Cipriani, real names in Ivory-Russland, had infiltrated the SOA some years prior and was now stationed at the Maryland facility. On the night of August 1, 1985, Russland, alongside his companions, cut power to the facility. While the blackout was ongoing, the team suited up in heavy-duty hazmat gear and eliminated the guards surrounding the containment chamber. At some point before 11:45 p.m., Russland exfiltrated with the granite. Over the next few weeks, a manhunt was launched for Russland. He wasn't able to be located. The SOA would face significant consequences for this failure. The administration's funding was paused indefinitely and a years-long investigation would take place. 1 year later in 1986, CIA field agents in Afghanistan would report that multiple groups of Mujahideen fighters were found with their skin flayed. The SOA would be contacted and would subsequently identify the fighters as having textbook examples of SKG exposure. As it would turn out, the Soviets had used the granite stolen by Russland to create an experimental energy weapon known as XO-700. The XO-700 weapon system used a series of mini cyclotrons in tandem with a complex series of focusing arrays to direct and fire radioactive beams from the SKG. XO-700 would be mounted onto the Mi-24 gunship and would see its first combat deployments during the Soviet-Afghan War. It was famously used during Operation Magistral as an area denial weapon. As of 2001, the XO-700 is still listed on the Russian Weapon Index. Though, there has not been a sighting since 1989, likely due to the granite's radiation decreasing in power. Following the Soviet infiltration, the SOA would permanently assign field agents to protect the various containment zones in the United States. These agents have been effective in dissuading any would-be espionage. In 1999, the SOA officially confirmed the existence of the Skinned Belly and the other anomalous containment zones. The administration urged the public to stay away from the zones and report any strange activity to the proper authorities. In May of 2000, a recent spike in the granite radiation levels caused the largest expansion of the Skinned Belly in recorded history. It grew 5 miles in every direction and caused the evacuation of the surrounding area. It isn't known if the field will keep growing at this time. All law enforcement officials were recommended to transfer all missing person cases in the area surrounding the Skinned Belly to the SOA. The Skinned Belly remains a highly intriguing and dangerous area of Virginia.